Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to discuss about Way Anova. So coming to my introduction, I'm a second year graduating student at SVC Bangalore. My name is Sai Nandan and I belong to Aryabhatta session and this is my personal information. So coming to the contents for the today's presentation is first we'll discuss what is Anova, understanding Way Anova, why we use Way Anova, why we when we use Way Anova, advantages of Way Anova, disadvantages of Way Anova, and at the end let's have a conclusion. So when we're discussing about ANOVA, we need to know what it is. A two-way ANOVA is a statistical test used to examine the effect of two independent variables factors on a dependent variable. This test helps to determine if there are any significant differences in the mean of the dependent variable based on the level of two factors, as well as whether there is an interaction between two factors. Understanding two-way ANOVA. A two-way ANOVA is a statistical technique that allows you to analyze the effect of two independent variables factors on a dependent variable, while also investigating if there is any interaction between two factors. It's a powerful tool used in experimental research, particularly when you want to understand the combined effect of multiple factors on an outcome. When we use two-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA is used when you want to test main effects of two factors. You are interested in knowing if there are interaction between two factors. You have multiple groups and are comparing more than one factor simultaneously. Second use of two-way ANOVA is uh, components of two-way ANOVA. Dependent variable, response variable. The variable you are measuring, example weight, test, score, sales, etc., are can be a dependent variable. Independent variable or factors. The two categorical variables you are analyzing, example treatment type, gender, time of day, levels. The different groups of conditions within each factor. For exercise type factor, the level might be running, swimming, or cycling. Main effects. Main effects factor 1. This looks at the impact of the first factor independently on the dependent variable, ignoring the second factor. Main effect of factor 2. This looks at the impact of the second factor independently on the dependent variable, ignoring the first factor. Why we use two-way ANOVA? Here are the key reasons why we use two-way ANOVA. To evaluate the impact of two factors simultaneously, main effects. Two-way ANOVA helps us test the individual effect of two independent factors on a dependent variable. For example, in a study on weight loss, factors like exercise type, running, cycling, swimming, and diet type, high protein, low carbs, may independently affect weight loss. To investigate interaction. One of the main reasons to use 2 by ANOVA is to check if there are interaction between the two factors. Any interaction effect occurs when the effect of one factor is dependent on the variable depends on the level of other factor. Example, the effect of a diet type on weight loss might be different depending upon the exercise type. For instance, a low carb diet might be more effective for weight loss when combined with running, but not as effective when compared with swimming. Why is this important? Without considering the interaction, we might miss a significant relationship between the factors that could only be understood by examining them together. To save time and resources. Efficiency. 2 ANOVA allows us to test two factors at once, rather than running separate tests for each factors. This saves time, reduces the number of experiments needed, and minimizes the potential for type 1 error false positive. Instead of performing two separate one ANOVA, one for each factor, we combine both factors in a single analysis, allowing for more comprehensive understanding of the data. To understand how factors work together, real world relevance. In many experiments, the factors you study do not operate independently of each other in real world scenarios. Using two-way ANOVA gives you the opportunity to examine how the factors interact in influencing the outcome. This is often more useful and accurate than studying them separately. When we use two-way ANOVA, when you want to test the main effect of each factor, In two-way ANOVA, you can test the main effect of each factor separately to see if they independently influence the dependent variable. Main factors does the type of exercise affect weight loss regardless of the diet type. Main effect of factor 2. Does the diet type affect the weight loss regardless of exercise type? If you have two factors such as exercise type and diet type, you would you would like to know, does exercise, running, swimming, etc. by itself impact weight loss? Does diet, high protein, low carb, by itself impact weight loss? Advantages of using ANOVA. Simultaneous testing of two factors. Two-way ANOVA allows you to test the effect of two independent variable factors at the same time. This is particularly useful in experiments where multiple factors may influence the outcome. Example, in a study of weight loss, you could test the effect of exercise type, running, cycling, and swimming, and diet type, low carb, high protein, simultaneously on weight loss. Main effect and interaction effect. Two and one not only allows you to evaluate the main effect of each factor, but also interaction effect between the two factors. Main effect. You can determine at each factor. Example, exercise type, diet type independently affect the outcomes. Interaction effect. You can explore whether the effect of one factor, example exercise type, depends on the level of other factor, example diet type. This helps uncover more complex relationships between the factors. Disadvantage of using two-way ANOVA. Requires consumption assumption to be met. Like any statistical technique, two ANOVA relies on certain assumptions, and violations of these assumptions can lead to an invalid result. Normality. The residual errors should be approximately normal distributed if the data are highly skewed and have outliers. The result may not be reliable. Homogeneity way of variance. The variance within each group should be roughly equal. If variance are unequal, the F statistic might be biased. Complexity in interpretation with significant interactions. While interaction effect is key strength of two ANOVA, it can also make interpretation more challenging, especially if the interactions are significant. Interaction effect. A significant interaction means that the effect of one factor depends on the level of other factor, and this can make the interpretation of main effect difficult. For example, the effect of one factor like exercise type might vary at different levels of the other factor like diet type, and this requires more uh, nuanced interpretation. Nuanced interpretation can become very complex with multiple level and large data sets. The number of combinations increases as you add more level to each factor. This can make the model harder to interpret, especially with larger data sets or when there are many levels within each factor. Example, if the factors many levels, 4 levels of exercise types, 5 levels of diet types, there will be a combination 20 combinations of factors levels to analyze. This can result in a complicated analysis with a large number of group comparisons and interactions terms interpret. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, consider subscribing my channel.